Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today is Tell Del Tuesday, and with me here today is Cherylnita and Shannon out of Atlanta. Interesting couple that own literally over 2,000 units in their passive portfolio, have done some single-family work also on the side. But interesting in that they decided that they wanted to continue with their employment, even though they were really interested in building up some passive income. So with us today, let's bring them on in. Cherylnita and Shannon, welcome to the show.
Hey, Dale. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you. You guys sound a little scared. I heard you were a little scared, Cherylnita, that you've never been on the radio before.
Never been on the radio before.
All right, just act like you're talking to your best friend, okay?
I'll try my best.
Give me all the inside scoop. That's all I want. Give me the scoop, right? Then you'll be okay, right? So let's talk about this. At what point in your marriage did you guys decide that, hey, we both good, we got good jobs, we're making it in this world, but we're not happy completely. We feel uncomfortable or feel there's risk that the job could go away. I guess it's the way you put it in your resume. Tell us about that situation and what you were thinking, what was going through your mind at that point.
Shannon, do you want to start or you want me to start?
I'll start. I guess some years ago, I started out in the automotive industry, and during that time, things had got kind of rough for us. And Cherylnita was laid off from her job or in between jobs, and I wasn't really making any money in the body shop. So after everything kind of cleared, we was just like, we got to find something else to do. You know, we just can't keep going from, looking from body shop job to what she was doing. So we started different type of businesses like network marketing and looking for franchise opportunities. And the network marketing opportunity, we learned a lot as far as, how to, look for other ways to make money, but it just didn't click off for us. So then we bought our first rental property, and I was like, oh, well, we like this. And that was kind of our journey into looking for that we know there's other ways out there to make money other than some jobs. So that's how we actually got started.
Well, one of the interesting things, Shannon, that I went through the same thing. And, you first realize that, boom, there's nothing out there, that really makes sense. And you look for, and I guess really the best way to put it is, and you can confirm this or not, I don't want to put words in your mouth because that's unsanitary and I have a cold, so let's be careful here. But the bottom line is that I remember you're looking for stuff that you can do that doesn't cost a lot of money out of your pocket. Would you agree? And so network marketing is kind of that I can get in for not putting up any money, whereas, buying the next thing you look at franchises, they're pretty expensive. And then you look at real estate and people go, well, you got to put some money into that. Is that kind of true? You get started looking for the stuff that doesn't cost much?
Yes, and that was the purpose of network marketing, because the initial investment was very low. And so you're like, oh, it's very low and I can make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. Oh, I'm doing it. So, and that's why we started with network marketing.
Sounds good until you run out of friends, right? Cherylnita, what did you think about your first efforts to find something else? Tell us what your thoughts were on this.
I totally agree. It was most definitely our first effort. Like Shannon mentioned, we went in with the network marketing angle because it was a low barrier to entry. Got in it and we stayed focused. I won't discount it. We learned a lot on the personal development side. However, long term, we seen that it was not the route to go. And immediately started looking for something else after we seen, we weren't the couple that would be making the $30,000 or $40,000 a month through the network marketing venture.
Now, I noted here in your resume that you said that you went to some other real estate group training program or something. Do you remember who that was and what you learned from going to that program?
Yes, we have a local here in Atlanta educational influencer, and he's very traditional, gives you very good information. But I also went to one, and Shannon is better with retaining names. Was it Whitney or Whitley, Shannon? Do you remember?
Russ Whitney.
Whitney.
Yeah.
I don't think he's around anymore.
Yeah. Well, during the 2-day seminar, he was teaching us how to go and increase the credit line on your credit cards. And on the second day, he soon explained to us he needed $60,000. But I was like, okay, it all makes sense while we had the routine of increasing the credit card assignment. So we realized that was not the route to take either.
Yeah, I actually know Russ Whitney, so he had some problems, there's no doubt. Well, okay, at least you got to touch base on that. How did you finally buy your first rental property? What process did you use?
Well, we had some friends of ours that we went to church together, and she was an agent, and she just started talking to us about real estate. And so we was like, okay, yeah, we would try that. And she took us around as an agent, started looking at different houses and everything. And we was like, oh, okay, this okay. It seemed pretty good. And we finally found the one that we liked, and we picked it. And that was pretty much the only one that we ended up getting with her. But she at least got the mind rolling that, this is a good way that we can start creating income.
Okay.
So we started out just by a friend from church.
You went through the same psychological process I did, guys. I looked for low entry ways to get into things, and then finally you see real estate makes the most sense. But then you still, you can't afford a big-time mentor yet. You're just like, hey, how do I get started? And you find somebody that actually just helps you buy a house. So I like the fact that you got started that way. How many houses did you do that way without any real education before we discuss coming here and looking for some additional information?
So during the downturn, about 2011, and that's when I was back more in a steady job. I had started doing contracting work, and I would have to fly to Canada or fly to Colorado, to find employment because it was really nothing going on in my area. That I worked in the city of Atlanta, and Shannon had went to another body shop that was a little more steady. And from those previous years, like, we knew we had to redirect and really get serious. So we learned about from that local. The gentleman name is John Adams, who's here. He has like a local real estate radio show, and he gives very general, information. And he has vendors come on, and one of his vendors was this company called Bestlet, and they would just had pool resources where they would have an agent. They would even manage the property. So we went to one of their sessions to see, what they had going on. And at that point, as I mentioned, we were a little more steady, had the income coming in, and we knew that we really wanted to get serious in looking at the real estate. So about 2011, when the prices were excellent in Atlanta, we went in and bought a few more homes.
So you found us by chance, and then what did you think about that crazy guy on the radio when you heard him?
I was amazed. I could not get your name right. I was stuck in traffic. I was trying to call Shannon on the cell phone because I say he's much better with recalling names than anybody who's in a personal development realm. I usually can say, who's this guy, Shannon? And he knows exactly who I'm like, have you heard of this Dale guy? And I could not find you. And he went on his investigative task and tracked everything down. I said, how long did it take you to do that, Shannon?
About 2 or 3 days. So So by getting on the internet and just looking for real estate people, because I knew people like Grant Cardone, because that's who I used to listen to a whole lot, was Grant Cardone, and just kept searching. I said, and his name always kind of popped up, and I just kept searching, and that thing I know there was Walmsley Lifestyle, and I said, this is the guy we're looking for. End up finding a event that they was doing in Atlanta, a one-day event, and signed us up immediately for that event.
Now, where did you take the 2-day class at, guys? Was it online, or did you go somewhere for that?
Yeah, we took it here in Atlanta. I think the timing was perfect. I think it was maybe like late August 2018 when I heard you on the radio, and if I recall correctly, you may have been speaking with John Pry. And I kept saying, Shannon, he says this guy has all these multifamily units. This is exactly what we're looking for. And Shannon dug, and it just so happened it was a session coming up in Atlanta, like that one day. So we were able to take that one day when the 1 days were being offered on site and the 2 day here in Atlanta.
Okay, so let's talk about, guys, what were the aha moments? Because you had no background in multifamily. I know the multifamily part starts the second day. Massive amounts of information thrown at you in just 1 day on multifamily. What were your aha moments? And maybe were there any aha moments on the first day? In fact, since you'd already done single family, did you hear some stuff that you like, oh my gosh, on the first day even?
Yeah, so with the 1 day, we was like, they offered the 2 day, and I said, we joining this 2 day. And she know I would join in a heartbeat. So I went back to the bag, signed up for the 2 days, got registered for the 2 days. Matter of fact, the 2 day was the following week. We went to the 2 day, and, we're just blown away with it, but still, like, okay, this can't be real. This can't be real. And the second day, it really just blew our mind. But then what got us was when for me, when the prices came up, we were like, oh, okay, all right, because we were so used to network marketing and looking for something that was affordable for us. We was like, you know what, we'll hold out. And by this time, I think you all was having the expo that was coming up, and I was like, let's go check this expo out to see if this truly what we're looking for. So that's how it kind of got the ball rolling.
Wow. So were you let's see here, you were members already, but were you preferred members when you went to the expo, or were you still in the information searching mode, trying to realize if it was real or not?
Yeah, we was at the financial, what is it
financial freedom level. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we was at the financial freedom level.
But what we did, Dale, that totally convinced us, we signed up for the bus trip.
Oh, I got you if you go on the bus trip, don't I? That blows you away.
Absolutely blew us away. So as you mentioned, from the 1 day, we were like, oh, we're doing a lot of stuff wrong. We'd be doing much better with our single families. When we got to the 2 day, we was like, this potential is infinite, what we could be doing. So it, like you said, it's college level education in a 2 day session where it's like we totally missed the ball. We learned so much. Then by the time we made it to Expo, and just to see the community that was Expo and on the bus trips and just how much education just from learning, being there on site with individuals in that community. And we actually was on the bus with JB. So he was just another wealth of information as we were doing the tours. And we couldn't get back to the home office fast enough for me. And I was the one that was hesitant. So Shannon was kind of trying to hold me back. Initially, I was hesitant, saying, oh, let's wait, because he was gung-ho. Really.
All right, well, we're going to take a break right there. We'll be right back with Cherylnita, Shannon, Cohn, and the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
Lifestyles Unlimited members share their stories and strategies for success at case study events.
If you got laid off tomorrow, what would you do? Would you have to be working at McDonald's or wait to try and find another job with the downsizing the economy? Kept on coming to meetings, even with David Fisher online and stuff like that, but still we just like, we need to make the jump.
So we kept praying for time to get this job done, to be able to find the properties. How do we find the properties? How do you find the time? And God answered our prayers, and he got downsized from his corporate job.
But they didn't buy just one house, right?
No, they did not. You're rehabbing house number
9 right now.
9.
Wow.
So every month, the cash flow is $3,200. Okay, the equity of all the houses is up to $280,000.
Join us this month and learn from people just like you. Check in-person and online dates at lukstudy.com. Once again, that's lukstudy.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to Del Walmsley Radio Show. With me here today on Tell Del Tuesday is Cherylnita and Shannon Cohen out of Atlanta. And guys, when we went to break, we were talking about the aha moments in the 2-day. Let's talk about what did you hear in the multifamily that really made you see you could do it? I mean, you went there to get that information. What opened your eyes and made it clear to you you could do this?
You want to go first, baby?
I think that one of the most important things with me was having a community of experienced and even like-minded individuals. Being around a group of people who have done it, number one, could guide us and lead us completely in the right direction, and just being encouraged about the process. What we found with what I consider the little we had done in real estate, we were creating a path, and we really wanted to be with individuals who had ran down that road so we can just learn and just absorb the information. And being with lifestyles and being at the 2 days, the expo, being there from that initial 1-day meeting and just seeing what was out there to be offered blew my mind, to be honest.
So when you look at this and you think about, you made this conscious decision that you are going to be a professional real estate investor. We all start in our mind with impediments, things that are going to stop us. And then you come here and you see these people. By the way, were you surprised how open people were that you didn't even know about their finances and their business practices, just giving them away?
Oh, yeah, that what blew my mind, because people didn't mind talking about what they're doing, what they're making, and how we learned growing up is that you never talk about money, how much you make, or, that's supposed to be secret. But what I loved about it, it gave you like, oh, it could be done, because if you keep it secret, how I know it could be done or not? And with the individuals that we talked to and telling us what they were making, what their returns was, I'm like, oh, okay, this is attainable. And so it just gave us the mindset that we can do it, as long as you got the right path, the right people, it can be done. And you all was that right path for us, and that what made so much sense, Now
I'm going to ask you,
share that information.
Shannon, I'm going to ask you a question, or Cherylnita, whichever thinks can answer this. There's always a good reason to be skeptical. I'm a skeptic by heart. You show up at an expo, there's 5,000 people there, find out that this business has been there for 34 years. What aspect of that, the length of time, the number of people, or what people were actually saying, or the combination, took you to the point where you go, okay, this is not a scam? Can you tell us that? Just for everybody out there listening, your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, how or what part of all that credibility rung out to you that I don't think they just orchestrated this 5,000 person scam to get us to buy in here? Set it up just for you guys.
Shannon, you want me to start or you want to start?
You can go ahead, baby.
I think with me, like you, Dell, I was too hesitant because, as I mentioned, Shannon was ready to go preferred at the 2-day. But I was like, no, they said it's an expo coming up in a couple of months. Let's just make the trip to Texas first and see what's going on. But by the time we got to Texas, and I was like, here again, I know this is not 5,000 actors they paid to come in just to impress us. That couldn't be the episode. So by the time we seen the community that was there, the individuals that were participating, by the time we took the bus trip and you're actually visiting properties, you're seeing people actually doing it. You're doing tours of units. You see what they took it from and to what it's now. And then you have those one-on-one conversations back again to you stating people are just so open and encouraging. It's just a very good and comforting feeling to be around a group of people who are just encouraging, people who are positive, saying, yes, you can do it, and this is how you can do it, and we'll help you if you have questions. And we have all these experts and people who are very experienced with any problem you may have that you can come to with a question. So your risk is decreased to such a level, you ask yourself, why wouldn't I do it? I've lost money on other things. Why not take the opportunity to invest in ourselves with something we see that is proven from all these other people that are here?
All right, so I'm going to ask you a question straight up then, Cherylnita. After you were a member, did you find that those people were real, that all that knowledge that we were sharing out there, was it real? Were those people really there? Could you get to them?
Oh, most definitely. The people are real. The openness is real. We've had issues during like the pandemic with some of our single families that we had acquired before we even joined Lifestyles. But I can still go to the experts. I can still go to the consultants and say, I'm having this issue. What do you feel is the best way for me to address that? They're there in all gamuts. We've met wonderful people, established some great friendships of people who have the same desires, which I had mentioned. Sometimes we found ourselves the only ones in our community, say our family, our circles of friends, that was kind of really interested in real estate. So you can't go and have these questions in answer sessions, or when you're excited about something. Even when we were very excited during 2011, when you could get a home here for $25,000. And we would be, please just go buy one, and everybody was looking at us like we were aliens. So and the only thing we look back at now is, what if we would have been in Lifestyles then? How far could we be in the potential from then? But we're very grateful that, we had an opportunity to get involved in the organization even later, because what it has done for us since 2019.
So let's talk about the next one you guys sold. It looks like it was one that you purchased, a 200 unit. You purchased 11, 17, and 20. In fact, before I go to the next one, you sold it on this one in October of 22. This one you sold in November of 22. I want to ask you guys a question. How did these two leads know that it was time to sell? Because we put out memos that, hey, the market's about to crash. These guys got you good profits instead of staying in there and risking the profits that are already made to go away because interest rates go rising so fast. How did they know?
Most definitely by listening and paying attention to the information you provide. And one thing both Shannon and I agree on, these two particular leads, they are very informative. When something's going on, they provide updates. They'll say, hey, this information is what we're receiving. This is what we're looking at doing. And they always provide ample communication. And that's exactly what they did. They listened to what you all provided, looked at what was going on in the market, kept us notified of what they thought would be the best, allowed us to vote on the decision. And as a investor group in the property, the investors decided, yes, we agree with you. It's time to sell.
Excellent. Very good deal. So now we're getting to the end of the show, so I don't have time to go through all 14 of your deals with you. I just want to get those 2 that had sold. Oh, by the way, what was the profit on that deal real quick, on that second sale?
On that second deal, it was a 43% return off the sale and a total all-time return of 51%.
Okay, still not shabby. I mean,
No,
you can't
not
beat
at all.
147, but 51 still not shabby. That's a lot better than a sharp stick in the eye.
Less than 2 years, yes.
All right, guys, I want to thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. Like you, when you first joined, you realized that people need to hear from everybody else out there. And I'm so happy that you were willing to come on and share your story with us out there. For the rest of you out there, remember this. Cherylnita and Shannon, they've got jobs. They're normal people just like you, but they're building massive amounts of wealth. And you can do that too. You just have to decide to get off the couch and do it. The rest of you out there, remember this. It's not the money, it's the lifestyle. Have a wonderful day.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley Radio Show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.